People, Deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for watching and tuning in. And before we carry on, hit the like and subscribe button if you're new to this, because once you're in, you're hooked. Hit the like button anyways. Comment your opinions at the end of this vid. But what was I going to speak about, people? Now, I feel Arsenal fans were a bit more optimistic in the season. I think we have to be very careful. We've got every reason to be optimistic. First and foremost, the backroom staff quite simply back their chat. Arsenal, let's not pull any punches. We're used to man saying that they're going to do this, we can do that, and fail to deliver. So Arsenal fans, we were a bit pessimistic in regards to new signings, and it's a long way to go before they hit the ground running. But Josh Kroenke said be excited. Edu, Raul and the rest of them said they're going to do stuff, and they've did stuff, and it's been a positive window really and truly. With the players that have come in to add with the very few individuals we can move forward with as a club, Emre's got a good platform. It's not going to change overnight. We're not going to see the fruits of their hard labour until well into the season. Defensively, we haven't had all of our options, but I don't feel we look proactive in regards to changing our approach to defending at all. Offensively, we can still improve despite the fact that we've got great individuals. But for me personally, I think we're relying on them individuals too much. I don't feel we're fashioning chances in the way Arsenal used to. If we go back 4 or 5 years ago, I think we're underselling ourselves offensively. Defensively is the first key. We've passed the first 2 hurdles, getting 6 points on the board, and that's even more important as we go into a dangerous period, which we're going to speak about. We obviously... Would we say we played perfect against Newcastle or Burnley? Of course not. It's not the time in the season for that. This is the start of the season. It's about getting off the mark and building up some points. In the same way, when you get towards the end, it's just simply about winning, people. Do you get it? In between that, what shall be, shall be. And I always tell you, look, the league is in about 3 or 4... There's 3 or 4 mini leagues within the main league for me anyways. August, well, from now, I'm just looking to December, people. We've got some tough games. We all know November, regardless of if it's tough games or not, it's a tough sort of period for Arsenal fans. We know the festive period with the Europa League kicking in and cup competitions. It's going to be long, hard and tough. So for me, I personally look at it, I'm not looking at, obviously we are, but we're not looking at other teams. We've got tunnel vision from August until December. We focus on remaining within that pack of the top 4. If we could, we can't be, but if we could be first and second ahead of Liverpool and City, then of course. But if we can be mathematically in and about that, you come out of January still in about that, and then you work, for me, you work from January to April. That's, you don't know me, I've said this before. And then from April to May, it's a last furlong. You, like I just said a few moments ago, you've just got to win them games. There's nothing against it. This is going to be a tough season, a hard season. It's going to be full of injuries, full of setbacks. Games where we don't deserve to win, we've won. Games we deserve to win, we don't deserve to win, we've won, sorry. Games we deserve to win, we don't. We drop silly points, we don't start off well. We go on runs of form. It's going to be many different twists and turns this season. We approach a tough period, people. I think actually November or October is good for us. I'm going to check it. I got it screenshotted. We'll get onto that. I think October mathematically is deep. I mean, on paper with the teams, there's no easy teams, but it's decent. We know now we go into a crucial period, people. We've got a tough run of games, people. Tough run of games. We go to Anfield. We got smacked up 5-1 there last season, and we haven't walked away from there with any real positives in the last couple of years. I remember I used to be confident going to Anfield of getting a point and things like that. I think that stopped the season we went there, and the year we went there and Alexis didn't play. I think Alexis didn't play, there was some beef or whatever, and Wenger dropped him. That's when I stopped thinking we can get something at Anfield, because typically prior to that, yeah, we'd beat them, they'd beat us, but it'd be a good game for the neutrals. Now I just expect a mauling of our defenders by Mane, Firmino, Salah and the supporting staff. We know Anfield is not going to be an easy place. It's one of the hardest games to go to, games to play and grounds to go to. It's a very magical stadium. Obviously, Liverpool are rivals, but for the football purists, let's cut the crap. Liverpool is a magical club. It's a magical city in general. It's a magical club filled with football heritage. More so now they've got Klopp, who everybody believes in and everybody's fighting for. All the troops are there. We know we've got problems away from home. We've got an away clean sheet this season, but we've got problems, serious problems problems away from home, and it's going to be a test. Not to name drop players, but as in typical Arsenal fashion, I've heard Aubameyang say on Arsenal Fan TV live thing, we're going to give our heart and all of these things. Xhaka has been talking up the things, Lacazette has been talking up the thing, Emre has been talking, everybody's been talking, and like you would. But the time is now, people. Emre has made us better against top six game in top six clashes, but what he can't factor against is players not being focused, which I have to say is the case at Anfield away last season. Firmino's made a run from his own box to our box and scored, and not one striker, defender or midfielder picked up that run. It's this sort of proactive approach that we need to improve if we're going to have a good season. Emre can give you all the tactics, he can tell you where you need to be on the field, but ultimately they're the ones that need to go out and do that. I don't feel if we beat Liverpool, it's going to draw conclusions as to what we can do, but it will help us for motivational purposes if we can go to a top six clash away from home and get 3 points. We're in the toughest period, people. We've got Liverpool away from home, we've got Spurs at our place. Spurs at our place now. Emre took 4 points off Spurs in the league last year, and I think he's definitely improved us in top six clashes, especially at home. So I'm always confident against Spurs, but I'm very wary of the phrase always confident, because it's a top six game. These sort of things you're hoping the week before you we got Liverpool the week before, but you're hoping that you take 4 points against the lesser teams for this. So that's it. We know that's Liverpool and Spurs. Sorry, is essentially a thingy. Is essentially a 6 pointer because it's 3 games from each. But I dare to say that's a 12 pointer, because it's almost double points if you take 3 points off a top six rival. Now Liverpool, you'd expect them to be second. What typically happens is two different things, but you'd expect them to be well ahead of us. They were like 20 odd points ahead of us last year, and I'm being kind to us. You'd expect them to be up there with Liverpool and whatnot, and Spurs you'd probably expect them to make top 4 because they didn't have the best of seasons last year domestically, but they still got there. But you never know what taking points off your rivals can do for you. Spurs were in the mix in regards to top 4 last season, and they got it by a point. If we didn't draw a certain game, again, this is apples and oranges and whatnot, but if we didn't lose that game, draw that game, where could we have been? We can say that for several incidences. So we've got Liverpool away, Spurs at home, Watford away. Now, we won at Watford away last season, but there's also been incidences we've played poorly. And I wouldn't say we've necessarily been 100% convincing against Watford. Now, Watford have lost 2 games in a row, forgive me if I'm wrong. And they would have played 4 games by the time we bucked them, so they might have improved and narrative will change and whatnot. But let's just say this slump continues. You'd imagine that in typical Arsenal fashion, when these teams play us, it don't matter that they lost 5-0 the week before. I'm just chatting. 5-0 the week before, they got injuries and whatnot. They turn into Barcelona and whatnot. And again, that's an away game. So we've got, out of the next 4 games, we've got 2 tough away games. We've got Spurs at home. You'd expect us to beat Villa at our place, people. But just look at, again, it's the start of the season, but they gave Spurs a decent run for their money. Spurs had to turn it around and whatnot. Yeah, Spurs peppered them and whatnot, but they showed enough encouragement against top 6 games for me, against top 6 sides based on that game, that they can give a top 6 side something to worry about. So I expect us to beat Villa, but you see what I'm saying, people? We've got to, these next 4 games, we've got to get a handsome return of points. Seeing is believing. If we don't, I don't feel we can draw conclusions, but seeing is believing, and the time for talking is over. It was nice to get 6 points against Burnley and Newcastle, but on one hand, that's expected. We've got to go out there and I would take a point in both games against Liverpool and Spurs. Obviously, I'd like to win that, but let's be honest, people, a point isn't the worst result for either side. Of course, I would like a 6 points off them, or 4 points from the next 2 games, people. Definitely 6 points off Villa and Watford. No disrespect to them sides, because they can give us issues. Villa, when they were in the Prem, they used to make us drop points. Watford, away from home, is always tough, so I'm not going to disrespect the sides. But you'd expect us to at least get 6 points out of a possible 12 in the next 4 games. Let me check my maths is right. 3, 6, 9, 12, yeah. My maths is cool. Then after them 4 games, people, you've got United at Old Trafford. Now, it's sad that I'm going to be working on the 30th, people, handing out drinks and whatnot, but you lot know my review that day will eventually come. We could have won away from home. Again, I don't like to talk about apples and oranges, but we could have taken 3 points for the first time in a long time last season at Old Trafford. Why did we lose that? From players not being focused, not to name drop, but go and watch the highlights. Leno, Kolasinac, Socrates, mainly the defenders, not aware. Midfielders not following runs. Remember, go and look at, I believe, I could be wrong because he scored 2, but go and look at, I believe, the second goal Lingard scored, because I think that's the goal that they almost replied instantly after us going 2-1 ahead. Long ball over the top. You're at Old Trafford, a ground we've barely won at. Again, United might not be United or Ferguson, but it's still Man United. It's still a 6-pointer in the sense that it's double points. And I personally feel that was a game where Emre's told you everything leading up to the match. Emre's giving you all the tools, and then you go and throw it out the window. So the level of concentration has to improve, people. Looking at October as well, I don't even know what I'm going to call this thing. I don't even know what I'm saying at the moment, but looking at October looks like a decent month on paper to us, people. Is it October? No, yeah, October, people. None of these games are easy, and they're 2 different things. But you've got Bournemouth at home, you've got Sheffield United away, Palace at home, which they beat us last year, Wolves at home, where we dropped points last year. Well, that's the Wolves one's technically in November. But I would expect nothing. Okay, on paper we should be getting 12 points from them. In reality, Wolves is a tough side. Palace will make it difficult for us. Playing Sheffield United, I expect us to win, but away from home, you know about Sheffield United and the Still City and our away form just based on this moment in time. Who knows? Bournemouth at home, we expect to win that. But again, Bournemouth are not easy. There's no easy games in the Premier League. So October is a decent month. Then you've got the November period, people, where I've already mentioned Wolves. We've got Leicester away, where we got smacked up last season. And we've got Southampton at home on the 23rd, people. Not really relevant, but we really need to improve and up it and whatnot. And I believe the time for talking is done, people. As you lot know, the time for talking is done. It really is done. So yeah, I don't think there's anything more to add. In fact, I was gonna do this in a separate vid, but I believe Lacazette's had something to say, Aubameyang's had something to say, and Guendouzi's had something to say in relation to, I believe they're just talking to French media outlets. But he said, Guendouzi, my aim is to be in the senior French side. My aim is to be in the senior French side. I know I have a lot of work ahead of me. I did the Euros with the 21s this summer. We have the Olympics coming next summer. So if I continue on my path with more work and continue to show my qualities on the pitch, I hope I'll be there one day. So he's someone that I assume he wants to play in next year's Olympic Games in 2020. What would that be, in Japan? That would be good for him. He's still an Olympian sort of thing. Playing in the Olympics is a pinnacle for any athlete next to the World Cup and whatnot for footballers. Yeah, he probably knows he's a long way away from getting in the French team outright, and he probably knows Euro 2020 is a pipe dream, but it's nice to see he's working for it. Lacazette's had something to say as well. He said the best is yet to come from him, people. He was speaking about Premier League and his lack of national team action. Now, I believe if Lacazette gets 20 league goals, it's impossible to deny him. I think he's got a lot of qualities and a lot of technical qualities. We all know Giroud is a favourite of Deschamps, and he backed it up in the World Cup. He might not have scored, but he allowed Dembele, Mbappe and Griezmann and all these players to kind of flourish. Lacazette's got good hold-up play, but he's not quite the target man. If it was up to me, Lacazette would be in the side. But I think the only question mark is he hasn't got 20 league goals. I think Deschamps cannot deny him if he's this player, which Lacazette currently is, plus 20 league goals. And Lacazette said, the Premier League has seen a very good Lacazette, but not yet the best Lacazette. I need to score more goals. I know I need to be more consistent throughout games. I can do better. I'm continuing to work for the national coach. The national team coach makes his decisions. I'm trying to put in the work. There you have it. I am still motivated for it. So he's still got ambitions, but he's probably, if I'm him, I think he should have went to the World Cup, but I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm always going to say that. I think he's accepted to a degree that Deschamps doesn't necessarily favour you and whatnot, and all you can do is work hard and pray things fall into place, because certain people are getting chances. I believe if he said he needs to score more. I believe one pet peeve, I think Lacazette's too good of a player not to get 20 league goals, people. I think he can do it. He's on it in big games. I don't see why he can't get 20 league goals. And I'd probably say if he could start bagging a bit more away from home. I know he scored away from home, people. The Cities and Cardiff come to mind. But I'm sure there's a direct contrast between the goals he scores at the Emirates and the goals he scores away from home. But I think he should be getting 20 league goals. Finally, with Aubameyang now, he spoke about it. Do you know what? There's no point... there's no point speaking about it. It's not even Aubameyang. This is Guendouzi's comments. He's speaking about how Lacazette and Aubameyang made him feel welcome. They punch him up in training as like a little banter sort of thing, and he sees them as his big brothers, and it helps them gel. And obviously we've got Saliba coming next season. We've got Pepe, who's a French speaker. It's nice to see that the French lads are all looking out for each other. You always see pictures of Aubameyang and Guendouzi with Dembele at his house, so it's nice to see they're all cool, especially the French players. Not even just the French and the Spanish and the Germans. One thing I say about Arsenal, even the players that need to leave, we've got a good sort of harmony and whatnot. That's why even me myself, when I say there's no togetherness, I think to myself, am I saying the right things, people? Because I do think there is togetherness within the side, and it's nice to see the brotherly love sort of thing, because if you all like each other or you all get on, you're going to ride for each other and try that bit harder for everyone. And if everyone's giving their maximum and then some, in theory, we should be a bit better, innit, people? So there's that. But I believe Aubameyang's comment said, we clearly have a better squad than last season with big signings this summer. We hold all the cards to have a great season and to finish in the top 4 to be able to play in the Champions League next season. So the players are obviously no top 4 is the aim. We should be playing in the Champions League. I say should because there's no guarantees. Yes, we've signed Mbappe. I wish we signed Mbappe, people. Yes, we've signed Pepe. Yes, we've signed Pepe, Ceballos on loan, David Luiz. These players that can improve the side. Young G's like Nelson and Willock are showing they can hold their own on top of the Torreiras, the Guendouzis, the Aubameyangs, the Lacazettes. The couple players we can, Socrates, Holding, the players we can move forward with, people. But you have to earn the right to play in the Champions League, and you have to earn the right to play in the top 4, and we're only going to get that by keeping clean sheets, by being proactive in defending, by starting games in the best way, by smelling blood. When we smell blood, kill off games. Especially, you look at the Burnley one, we beat Burnley, but if you look at it, we was 1-0 for how long? We had how many chances? Not quality chances. I don't feel we necessarily created quality chances, but we peppered them, and they went into our half-time at what, people? 1-1. They scored in the 42nd, 43rd minute. So game management needs to improve, killing out teams and whatnot, and making it a less nervy and tight affair in games. Because as a pet peeve, as an Arsenal fan, that's one thing I believe we can improve. On that note, I don't believe I have anything else to add, so I'm just going to keep it moving and get out of your hair, people. DG, thank you for watching and rocking with me consistently. It's been a long video. I've spoken about a lot of different things, but for now, DG, I'm out. Thank you very much. Like, subscribe, comment, share up the vids as we keep growing, people. You know, we're on the road to 20,000, 20k subs. Thank you for watching, DG Nation. I'm out.